The views and opinions expressed do not necessarily represent those of Access Fort Wayne, the Allen County Public Library, or any other supporting group. Access Fort Wayne is a department of the Allen County Public Library. If you or anyone you know might be interested in making a television show, please call 260-421-1250.
Welcome to the Kachmann Mind, Body, Spirit Show. You're going to learn a lot today. It may even be life-saving, so be sure to take a few notes. But this will be actually on YouTube within an hour after this show, so you can see it again and see it again. So let's start out about our kidneys, which are very important to us. And I'll start from the beginning, and you will fully understand what this is all about. So we need to review the anatomy of the kidneys a little bit. So they're in front of your back muscles, and in the back of the peritoneal space, that's the space around your belly organs. The right kidney is just below the liver and slightly lower than the left kidney. Okay. And they're shaped like a bean. Well, that's easy enough. And about 5 inches long, and the blood supply comes from the aorta, the big blood vessel that goes through our belly from the chest. So the kidneys are connected by a small tube to the bladder, okay? And the bladder is a holding tank. When the bladder is full, the urethra below that causes us to urinate if it's not blocked by a stone or something. Okay, so it's kidneys, ureter, bladder, urethra make up the urinary tract. I just wanted to review the fundamentals a little bit. So the kidneys, what do? They clean and purify blood by eliminating toxins as waste products are removed by small filters called glomeruli, and they do that 24 hours a day, 365 days a year. Mine must be working, I'm still here. So when we're doing blood and urine tests, we're seeing how good a job they're doing. We get a way to check on them. So the kidneys evaluate and adjust system of operation to keep you in balance, healthy, and alive. You need your kidneys. They know what your electrolyte levels are, like the sodium, potassium, phosphorus, how acidic your blood is, with acid or alkaline. And so they check the sodium, the potassium, the phosphorus, and also the amount of fluid that's in your body. Yes, the urinary system has a way of checking all these things. And the kidneys maintain the acid-base balance, whether you're acidic body or alkaline body. So they don't just check the electrolytes, the sodium, the potassium. Bicarbonate is another important electrolyte. It's like baking soda. And the acid-base balance is called the pH. What's the pH of your blood? So changes in this balance affect the function of every organ in your body. Wow. Your kidneys are important, is what I'm trying to tell you. Is Kidneys also help in regulating blood pressure. They help in eliminating excessive sodium electrolyte, which help regulate blood pressure. Kidneys also produce renin and angiotensin hormones, okay? Kidneys make them when the blood pressure is too low. The kidneys will make them, your blood pressure is down too low. They make these two hormones to raise your blood pressure. It's a very efficient system. Kidneys have some help from two small glands sitting above them called the adrenal glands. They make hormone called aldosterone, which can also be secreted to raise your blood pressure, okay? These three hormones, aldosterone, renin, angiotensin, job is to keep your blood pressure up if it drops too much. We have backup systems to keep us alive, okay? It's also called the RAA system. Kidneys are regulators of bone health. They make erythropoietin, a blood stimulator, to help regulate the blood too. So kidneys fuel the production of blood cells in the body by secreting erythropoietin to help keep blood count normal. Isn't it interesting? To keep the bones healthy. And the kidneys transform and activate vitamin D from the diet and the sun that you may or may not be taking in. So the kidneys help out. Vitamin D is responsible for preserving bone, heart, and total body health. But the kidneys help. Each kidney is made of, let's talk about the anatomy a little more. It's made of a million units called nephrons, each kidney, okay? And we have two, but you could live off with one. If you gave one away to save somebody's life, maybe you were born with one. That happens, but that's rare, okay? The nephrons begin with the filter, a tuft of capillaries, tiny blood vessels called the glomerulus. Liquid is derived from the blood plasma, a solution from which most of the protein has been filtered out by the glomeruli, okay? Because it's trying to save some of the protein. If you urinate out all your protein, you won't live very long. By the multiple mechanisms, the kidneys achieve their remarkable regulatory capacity. It is remarkable. What I've said so far, you got to admit, it is remarkable. That's why I wouldn't mind if you watch the show again on public access or on YouTube. It'll be there too. Kidneys' main function is not to excrete waste. Kidneys' main function, the most important role, is to keep extracellular fluid in balance. The sodium, potassium, the minerals. Kidneys regulate the water, the salt, the potassium, the acid, whether it's alkaline or not. Also, an antidiuretic hormone is secreted by the brain, by the pituitary, in response to, if electrolytes are imbalanced, the brain realizes how important that is for your life, and it puts out an antidiuretic. This is really complex. So the kidney's response to hormones is to lower in volume this antidiuretic hormone secreted by the brain, helps keep the water in your body. Clearly, the kidneys have many functions besides excretion of waste. You can see that many hormonal things. Complete loss of kidney function can cause death within a few weeks. Mm-hmm. But they have a lot of backup systems. You can live on one kidney. You can have a very small part of the kidney working, and you can still be alive. So people can survive with only 5% of kidney function and still survive. Yeah, I've worked with some of these patients and taught them what foods to eat, and they're still alive today. So let's talk about the stages of kidney disease, and this is where the real information I want you to have and to work on. We must get at least a yearly test of our kidneys, okay? And the most important test is the glomerular filtration rate, GFR. If I walk up to you today, will you know what your GFR is? You need to know that. And put it maybe in a book or log at home or on the computer. You need to know where GFR is. And we have 5 stages of kidney diseases, okay? And you need to act in some of these, and I'll tell you how important this is. In the first 3 stages of kidney disease, we don't have any symptoms. We have disease in our kidneys. Our GFR is dropping. When you're a teenager, maybe it's 110. I'm over 80, and mine is 80. So my kidneys are functioning good. But then again, I have no disease, and I take no pills. I only take 1 pill, vitamin M. Music, happiness, turn on your endorphins, feel good. So, and the reason is with kidney disease in these stages, I want you to work on them because it's difficult to get to a higher stage again. It recently has been determined, though, that can be done. Dr. David Unwin from England, you can get it on YouTube. He'll show you how, but that's not well known. Let's review the 5 stages of kidney disease because I want you to know them. So, as a teenager, GFR is around 100 to 130. Okay, it goes down slowly as we get older. At age 86, mine was 80. The GFR for 90, above 90 is stage 1. Okay, got it? Stage 1. Stage 2 is 60 to 89. Mind you, this is checking kidney function. And in stage 2, people have no symptoms, but your kidney function is going down. You need to know what your level is so you can take action and save your kidneys. Maybe stabilize them, maybe keep them from getting worse and get them better. Stage 2 is GFR 60 to 89. Still, people have no symptoms, so you got to check it because this is the time that you could go to work and save your kidneys by eating a proper diet, which I'll tell you about later. And stage 3 is 30 to 59. But you may have 0 symptoms. Now you got to get to work. If not, you may progress further and need to go on dialysis. But life expectancy with dialysis is only about 4.5 years. But I'll tell you too, the dialysis centers do not educate the people how to avoid you needing dialysis. Yes, I've read their flyers, their handouts. They may barely bring it up. I reviewed one recently from another city, a renal center. On the back page, there's little information, a little bit of information on how to avoid progression of kidney disease. So again, stage 3, 30 to 59, you still have no symptoms. And then you go to stage 4, 15 to 29. At this point, they'll be talking about dialysis. You can go to the center, have it done. You can have it done at home. There are many different ways of doing it. You can read about that, but it doesn't work. You got to do it at least 3 days a week. It's a real inconvenience. Lay in the same bed 3 or 4 hours in dialysis. You can avoid it. I'm teaching you today how to avoid it. Type 2 diabetes, incidentally, is highly associated with kidney disease. And if you look at my websites, my YouTube shows, I have hundreds of shows on there about diabetes. You need to look at those and get away from diabetes. So stage 4 is 15 to 29, and generally dialysis is already recommended. And heart attacks would not be unusual during this stage 4. Mm-hmm. That's why I'm passionate about preventing kidney disease. It's not unusual people with kidney disease, even at stage 3 or 4, where they may have few symptoms to grab their chest and die right there. It happened to a friend of mine playing tennis, not against me, fortunately. But he's 15 years younger than me, but still dead. Mm-hmm. His wife was a dietitian, taught him the wrong thing. Mm-hmm. When kidneys stop working, every part of our body is affected. Crosstalk is a term used to describe the situation. Every organ in your body is affected. The risk of cardiovascular disease is greatest of any group with renal disease. You got kidney disease, odds are you got vascular disease. Heart disease and kidney disease are highly related. Yes, the risk of vascular disease is highest in people with kidney disease. You got kidney disease, you got vascular disease. Risk of cancer increased 10 to 80% in patients with chronic kidney disease. Cancer rates go up. Mm-hmm. If you need a new kidney and you didn't try to do something about it, now you need a transplant, they got to put you on steroids, and that increases risk of Parkinson's disease. Kidney disease accelerates aging too. You want to look older, don't get rid of your kidney disease. Life expectancy, if you're on dialysis, is about 4.5 years. Mm-hmm. Kidney disease increases the risk of stroke. It's a road to hell. You need to do something about it. We need to test for it. And if we reduce certain proteins we're consuming, the risk goes down. And a large percent, 30, 50%. Incidentally, gout is related to kidney disease and much more common in kidney disease. Gout is where you have an inflamed toe or the joint above the big toe becomes inflamed and swollen, and people have horrible pain. And you can check it with the uric acid, but if you avoid kidney disease, odds of you getting the gout very small. Okay, so let's do some testing for kidney disease. It's a lot easier to reverse kidney disease in the early stages. That's the reason, remember I mentioned to you how important it is to know your rate, okay? But you can run other tests too. A comprehensive examination. Smoking increases kidney disease, okay? Alcohol increases kidney disease. drug use and the family history need to review. Some drugs increase kidney disease. Remember I said diabetes, tremendous increase in kidney disease. You need to avoid that. And so we need to know your dietary habits. The most important is the GFR, glomerular filtration rate. You need to know it. I need to be able to walk up to you and say, what's your GFR? And you need to know the number. And it reveals the kidney's ability to get rid of toxins. The BUN is a good test. BUN is a protein, a byproduct from protein metabolism. But if your kidneys can't get rid of it, the BUN will rise. So that's an important test. Another test. And they test the kidney's ability to get rid of a protein. Creatine is another one, which is the byproduct of muscle metabolism. It's in the blood, and if the kidneys can't get rid of it, the level will rise. So protein creatine ratio should be less than 2. Okay, that's another test. The heart and kidney disease, they're the evil twins. They are clearly related. The biggest killer of the kidney patients is heart disease. It may say in the death certificate died of heart attack, but the problem may have been the kidneys, yes. So when kidney patients need dialysis, 80% have heart disease. Isn't that interesting? That's why prevention is so important. The cause of death on paper may say it's heart disease, but actually the cause is kidney disease. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Highly recommended regular blood tests and urine tests to see if we are developing heart or renal disease. Get tested. If you look quite healthy, maybe once a year, but many people need to get tested. Your diabetes, get tested every 3 months. Mm-hmm. Because these diseases are a lot easier to prevent at that time. So at stage 5 kidney disease, with the way it runs, 80% have heart disease. I encourage you to aggressively intervene in stage 3 of kidney disease, at least to stop progression of renal disease and call halt to progressive kidney disease. Rudy's 16-8, not eat 16 hours, eat 8, has a high chance of working to prevent sudden death. And I've written books about it. You can read about it on Amazon. We must manage heart disease just as hard as we're working on kidney disease. Yes. Chronic kidney disease is a potent inflammatory disease. The inflammation from kidney disease has a toxic, life-altering effect on the heart. Remember what I said, kidneys and heart disease are closely related. An increase in heart disease will shorten the lifespan. The cardiorenal syndrome, it can be difficult to determine which is the primary culprit. Is the kidney disease that's killing us or the heart disease? Odds are it's the kidney disease. Mm-hmm. I say prevent it is much easier. And I wrote a book, Prevention is the Cure. Prevention is the Cure, kidney disease. And this book is Amazon. I'm not here selling books, but I pointed out to you it's real thin. And dialysis centers, even if you're getting dialyzed, you still can reverse kidney disease. So don't give up, and I'll show you what to eat. But why are we having so many people with this? Because, well, the school lunch program, that's right on the cover of my book here, they're feeding kids foods that cause kidney disease, a lot of sugary foods. Even milk can do it. Failure of public health. Can you name the head of public health? Allen County? Bet you $1,000 you can't. Yeah. Is our state governor promoting a healthy way of eating? No, he's not. I saw him at the Bean Dinner on stage with a lawyer, and yes, and the lawyer didn't look that healthy. So politically, they're not promoting anything. The sugar industry is bribing everybody. The corn industry picks up money from the government, and the House and Senate lobbyists, they're the ones getting paid off. There's poor nutrition teaching in the schools. They used to teach kids in the schools. A few still do, but most of them don't, because I look at their menus. You can look at it online, and they bring in boxed food. The dietitian should be cooking the food, explain to the children what is made from. Processed food, where the good part, the germ and the coverings have been removed, and you're getting nothing but the sugary foods. Cow's milk. Read a book, Joe Keon, Whitewash, and read about milk. You know, we all in the school, you look at our menu in our school system here, and there's a bottle of milk. With every meal, drink some milk. But I want you to read this Whitewash by Joe Keon. You wouldn't give that milk to your child. All the hormones that are in milk. And it has very little prevention treatment. In the hospital system, I went to one of the beautiful hospital on Highway 14 the other day. But there's nothing there about preventing diabetes, which is the biggest cause of chronic kidney disease. I didn't see, and it was so huge, so beautiful. You could walk in there, have no appointment. Isn't that wonderful? But not a sign of for preventing or reversing these diseases. So I'm maybe a little bit pushy about it, but I know so much about it. I've seen the suffering. I've seen the amputations, the dementia, the renal disease, the heart disease, and I'm trying to do something about it. Why another kidney diet meal planning book? Why another book about it? I'm going to talk about what to eat shortly. So the current kidney disease diets are 50 years old, based not on today's research. They act only on the sodium, potassium, and phosphorus. That's a mistake. There's more to it than that. The acid base is very important. So the metabolic metabolism of dietary protein creates uremic toxins, acidosis, renal acid load, increased inflammation. So we need to study this in detail. The current kidney diet doesn't consider the renal acid role, the keto acid. So the prevention books of years ago don't apply to today. So the bottom line is that the current kidney diets are killing us. And current diets keep the renal acid load, a workload the same throughout the disease progression of kidney disease over time. Educated patients live longer and better lives. So I want you to get educated, and you're getting educated today. Learn more. I'm not the last word, but read some of these books, which I'll hold up to you later. And So it took 40 years and over 7,000 studies before smoking was declared bad for you. Yes, I smoked 1/10 of a cigarette, coughed all night, and never touched another one. Wow, was that a good decision? According to the Institute of Medicine, it took 17 years before a new medical practice is adopted. Well, on this kidney disease and diabetes problem, it's more like 50 years. And the studies suggest a 40 to 50% decrease in GFR, decrease in the filtration decline, may equal 70% longer life. So if you improve your GFR, you tremendously increase your lifespan. The diet in this book is designed to take the workload off your kidneys, treat as many comorbid conditions as possible. Hope is to slow or take workloads off your kidneys. Understanding the basics of kidney factors, there are about 20 factors that make the kidneys worse, that affect the kidneys better or worse, and we want to treat as many of these as possible. When we see the GFR declining, then the diseases are increasing, and they result in death. Protein and renal acid load remain throughout the disease. As your kidney function declines, the number of conditions increase in number and severity. So to pay attention to the stages of kidney disease is very important. We succumb to the number of comorbid conditions caused by kidney disease. Yes, heart disease, dementia, cancer, amputations, dislocations. And traditional kidney diets don't lower protein or the acid load. They work on the phosphorus, the potassium, the sodium, but that's the road to hell. We need to do more than that. So treat the factors, about 20 of them, check the results. A good way to see if it's made a difference in what you've done is to check the blood work in 90 days. In 90 days, it'll be very reflective in your blood work. So how much is too much protein? They've run studies on that. So simply a BUN or creatine increased than the upper limit. And the upper limit, BUN, is about 20, creatine 1.2. So add some serum albumin. This is the big one. This albumin is a protein in the blood. It represents about 60% of the protein in your blood. So less than 4.1 of albumin is beginning stages of uremic malnutrition. Your risk starts to skyrocket. So the odds of dying are remarkably increased once the albumin level in your blood is less than 4.1. So the body and kidneys are screaming for change your ways. Kidneys, optimal blood tests, that eating more protein is a wrong decision. It's a wrong decision. But you need some protein. And we will discuss the books you could look at and read. So a GFR of around 60, if it goes below 60, bad things start to happen. We can change, but we can change the outcome, okay? In 2018, 2019, they invented Albutrex, became available in the U.S. and other countries. Albutrex is a low nitrogen protein food. Remember, protein is the biggest threat to the kidneys. To help, and it raises the albumin level. Remember how important albumin is. Provide essential amino acids and protein supplements that doesn't contribute to other issues. So Albutrex became very important, but there is some controversy with that. Yeah. So Albutrex has a negative acid load, lowest amount of calcium, acts as a phosphate binder, low amounts of sodium, phosphorus, potassium, specific nutrition for each stage of kidney disease. So magnesium to reduce vascular calcification. So it's something you need to learn something about, especially if you're having advancing kidney disease. So albumin meals supplant most are very important for us, and not treating low albumin levels is a big mistake we can make. Raising albumin levels in people with kidney disease is not allowed in the U.S. I don't know if that's still true, but I read that in these books. Let me know, and maybe industry get a hold of it and manage to pass a law so we would stay sick. I don't know. Do me a favor, answer that question for me. So, not treating low albumin levels is the biggest mistake made in kidney disease treatment management today. Treating albumin level is our future. So get it checked. Get it checked. Albumin is 60 to 70% of our protein in our blood. So albumin is made by the liver, and it can drop through proteinuria. We can urinate it out. Inflammation, acidosis, uremia, all decreases albumin. Albumin half-life 15 to 20 days. Normal range is 3.5 to 4.5. Get it checked. So physiological effects of exogenous albumin maintenance. What does albumin affect? Acid-base balance, antioxidant effect, drug transport, and coagulation of blood. So albumin is a true workhorse, strong mortality predictor. If your albumin is low, you may not live very long. So get it checked and then do something about it. Strong mortality predictor. Insurance companies use it a lot. Strong mortality predictor. Rising albumin level means you're getting better. So what is KDA? Kidney daily amount. We're going to talk about how much the good foods you need to describe the daily amount of something you need for your kidneys to treat as many factors as we can to see what they will tolerate. Basics are plant-based, low protein, negative acid load, high antioxidant diet using real foods, focusing one ingredient in the food. And we'll try some milk substitutes because milk is not good for the kidneys. We do have a recipe of egg whites. Egg whites have lower acid in it than the whole egg. Eggs generally are good, but a whole egg, if you're having a kidney problem, can be a problem. So how much protein should we be eating a day? Maybe 30 grams a day. Kidney patients have much higher amounts of oxidative stress. Oxidative stress is a driver of kidney disease progression. Ages advanced glycation products consumed when food is burned. So to to burn food at a high temperature and then eating makes kidney disease worse. And so kidney diets that used to recommend cooked meats, it was a big mistake. It was a big mistake. PRAL, potential renal acid load, when we talked about the acid intake, or extent of workload we're putting on the kidneys. Acidosis is a major driver of kidney disease. You want to be in alkalosis, yes. Acidic body hurts the kidneys. Alkaline body makes things better. A high acid diet, kidneys work twice as hard. Interesting. And our kidneys have no ability to process the nitrogen waste products from meat, then process from our body. Yeah. So a high meat diet is not good for our kidneys. Eating a diet with a negative acid load builds stores of blood. A bicarbonate is used to offset the acidic intake and decreases the workload on the kidneys. Number of acidic foods make things worse. So we want to consume a negative acid load for the day, every day. Acidic loads may turn out to be one of the biggest drivers of kidney disease. In most cases, acidic doses can be completely treated by diets. Yes, you can just stop eating high acid foods. Diet basics. Protein from all sources, 0.8 grams per kilo of body weight. But we can split that 50-50. We can say eat 50% vegetarian, less meat, and 50% from Albutrex, 50-50. So keeping track is mandatory. You got to write things down. The biggest cause of kidney disease is type 2 diabetes. Remember, I mentioned that already. Get rid of your diabetes. Watch my other YouTube shows. Read my books. Get rid of your diabetes. We can get rid of it 90% of the time. The trouble is, most of us don't do that. And in the school lunches, we're feeding kids a sugary diet to turn them into diabetics. I'd say 80% of this community I'm living in is diabetic. They haven't been tested. They need to test for serum insulin. That's elevated 10, 15 years before the blood sugar is elevated. You can read about it in Jason Fung's, F-E-N-G, Jason Fung's book, page 77. He describes that in detail. I highly recommend it. So the easiest answer, prevention and reversing kidney disease, is to stop the decline. That's the biggest thing. And remember, you can watch. So let's talk about what to eat. What can we eat? And there are excellent books that you can get rid of, and an excellent website too is Kidneyhood. Kidneyhood. H-O-O-D is a website. It is extensive discussion of what a good way of eating is. So, and this one is Stop Kidney Disease Food Guide, full of recipes, full of information. I can only give you so much today because I might be running out of time. And but limit these bad factors to dietary protein. 0.4 grams per kilogram of body weight. Sodium, 2,200 milligrams per day. Plant-based phosphorus, 1,200 milligrams per day. Potassium, 3,500 milligrams per day, or your personal limit. Aegis, very low or no Aegis estimate. Renal acid load, negative acid load for the day. In other words, I want to be alkaline. You mentioned that before. Supplemental calcium intake, as little as possible. 1 gram of calcium per day from all sources, diet and supplements. Saturated fats, low intake. And then they mention keto acid, Albutrex, increase these good factors, okay? So I want you to learn more about Albutrex. Probably you can do a 1-hour show on that, but dosage is equal to dietary protein shortfall. 1 pill equals approximately 4 grams of dietary protein. Magnesium intake, keeping the high and normal range. Antioxidants, 30,000 per day. Dietary nitrates, 150 plus. Heart healthy, eliminate foods that are not heart healthy. Exercise 5 days a week. Get with the program. Play pickleball like me. No, I don't recommend that to everybody, but 89 years old, no illness. Only take vitamin M. Play pickleball 3 days a week. Well, you know, maybe it can be done. Years ago, I wasn't as healthy, but I picked up information and I was not close-minded to it. I changed with it. Maybe that's pretty important. That's the reason I think it's very important if you get kidney disease to follow, get some of these books. And and exercise, remember, is important. So, but you have to go to work. No one's going to do it for you. And the important thing is to get these tests done. The GFR, you got to know that. It's got to be up front. My GFR is. And if you're at a certain level, get to work. And they used to think you cannot improve your GFR, but like I said, Dr. David Unwin from England, and you can go online and get information from him. I've learned a lot from him, and some of these recipes really are pretty good. And he's not even saying you can't eat breakfast, lunch, or dinner, although I myself think it's a lot easier. You eat 2 meals a day. And if you do the 16-8 fasting, that speeds things up even more, and you can get rid of it. Diabetes, 3 weeks. You can do that in 3 weeks. Can be done, especially the 16-8. Eat around noon and around 6. And if one of those 2 meals is healthy, like a cup of eggs, some guacamole, which is good fats. Remember, we have bad fats and good fats. Actually, if we look at a food pyramid, you will see that we should be eating about 60-70% good fats, 20% protein. Remember we said about the protein, your body recycles protein in your body. And if you eat above a certain amount of protein, it turns to sugar. The body converts it to sugar, and you're going to make diabetes worse. And another good book to look at is The Frugal Renal Diet Cookbook for Beginners, Kidney-Friendly Recipes, and I think if I had renal disease, I think I would get this book too. And it really goes in detail about each one, the ingredients, and in great detail. And I highly recommend that you use this. And before I forget too, it's important to drink water. And I'm talking about water with some electrolytes in it to make sure that you get about 8 to 10 glasses of water per day, because most of the bad chemicals in your body can be flushed out if you drink enough water. Not drinking enough water can concentrate the bad thing. So, things they recommend in here, for example, healthy chicken soup and a vegetarian cabbage soup, healing cauliflower holiday is a great soup. I think that would be a good soup. Healing cauliflower holiday soup, vegetable broth, olive oil, 6 cups of cauliflower, some leeks, nutmeg, some pepper, some water, and you've had a healthy meal. And we have to eat something. And when you're starting to cook like this, you are taking in the chemicals, the nutrients, the vitamins that keep you healthy. You can't just stop eating and hope your kidney disease will improve. But remember, kidney disease and heart disease are closely related. And don't, if you have diabetes, don't say, like I had a friend of mine say to me recently, I accept diabetes. Give me the pills and the shots. Well, changes, you may be a little bit better, but the changes will still occur in your body. That when you took the type 1 diabetic, where you make no insulin, for example, and they died, they found no vascular disease. Mm-hmm. They found, because there was no insulin. Insulin would cause the vascular disease. So it's very important to be a diabetic. So in summary here, I think we gave you some education about renal disease. We want you to get rid of it. We want you to act on it. I want you to know your GFR, your BON, the creatine, and their ratios, and then change the way you eat. And it may be difficult for you to decide what to do. So to look at Kidney Hood website, it would be a good one, because he has another big book in there about kidney disease. If you want to do some more reading, I mean, a big book. I read it, and but in such detail you may not want to do it. But if you just listen to what I said and follow the recommendations and change the way you eat, and say, follow these recipes here, you'll be well. Stop progression of your disease, and maybe even improve it a bit, and maybe look good and be disease-free time you're 100 and you can play pickleball or tap dance with me. Thanks for listening. And we will, and you can find this within the hour on YouTube. Thank you, the library. Thank you, Eugene. He's the one who does this, and we have to thank him greatly for doing that. And I do this show because I care about you. I'm a doctor. I love you. See you next time. Bye-bye.